Hey everyone, it's HammerfeIl here, and today I'm going to be introducing to you a mod that I think is necessary for most people that play Minecraft. I don't care if you go and you're like, oh, I don't build that or whatever, but this one is really fun if you have a computer that can do it, and it's called DynamicHeight. I got this from Lucklin. He was doing his mod reviews. He still is. He put that one up a few days ago, and so I decided to take a look at it because I've always wanted a higher height so that I can create floating islands and things like that, like I'm doing in world creation. So I went ahead and installed that mod, and now what we have here is a world that I will show you is very interesting. And yeah, so let's get going with that. I called it height advantage, and let's try that out real quick. Alright, so it might not look like, it's very different right now, but I put myself in an area that looked sort of normal. So you have this, it just looks, how it looks. And I hate rain. There we go. And so, let's see. I think it's this way. But if you come over here, yeah, it's over here, you will see the magnificence of this whole map. It just starts coming out. Instead of, having, what was it, 128 blocks that you can go 64 up and 64 down, if you look at the number in the, in the corner right here where it has the X, the Y, and Z, now, look at that, the Y is 170 and 173. That is higher than, the whole map normally combined by a significant amount. So it goes 100 and I have it on 256, so it goes 128 down and 128 up. And let's see, let me find, I guess it's this way. But I mean, that's just the start of it, because this map gets incredibly crazy all of a sudden, and you'll see why I love it so much. Here we are, the start to this magnificent world. I mean, that's not even a tall mountain. I mean, it's pretty big, but there's bigger. You got this over here, and this is rendering on far distance. That's why it's taken a while. But yeah, it's going to take longer to render. It's going to take longer to build the world. But I think it's worth it if you are into really tall maps, big, huge, mountains and all that. I mean, look at this over here. This mountain, pretty dang tall, and there's these floating islands everywhere in this map, and there's a lot of open caverns, just like these. And so, I mean, what can you do with this? Who knows? But this is definitely going to make it into my world creation series at some point in time. And you even have, I mean, look at these ones are even bigger, these mountains over here. It's just incredible. You got these huge cliff sides, this mammoth floating island that, basically looks like it's already set up to have like a little, lighthouse there or whatever, and then a little hut here, and I don't even know what. But it's just amazing how tall you can get. And I mean, if you went to 512, that would be insane as well, because that'd mean you'd have 256 blocks below you and above you from sea level. And we have all these like floating peninsula or whatever you want to call it. It's not really an overhang anymore, but it's still there. And then you come over here, and if you notice any lag, it's just because I haven't rendered certain areas of the map. And there are even more things over here, I believe, but I think some of the most interesting mountain ranges are actually in this direction. Look at that water. Just keeps going. That floating island is so cool. And see, we have more floating islands, and they're very abundant around here. And I don't know if it's just this world, or if the mod makes the world generator kind of spaz out a little bit, because that is definitely what it's doing. I mean, it just keeps popping up more and more of these floating islands, and bam, there it is. There's this mammoth, rock right here that's just floating. It's just amazing. I love it. I mean, it's connected, but it's still just floating there. And you have more over here, more overhangs. You got, I mean, look at that mountain. It's just so tall. I just want to jump off it. Maybe I'll do that at the end of the video. So, yeah. And this goes on for quite a while. So, let's move in this direction. See what else we got to show. That's just awesome. But the thing is, you know, in some ways you look at it and you're like, oh man, that's so cool, but you don't really realize how tall it is until, okay, I'm generating new stuff, until you jump off of it. And from a distance, this looks like it could be, you know, kind of possible in a way, but normal mountains only go up to about here where I'm pointing. Something like that. And look at that, it's twice as tall. And so I think what happens is it just goes around, picks the, when the world generates itself, it scales it up. And I think that's what it does. It doesn't just, you know, put more airspace above you. It actually scales up the mountains and everything. And I mean, just look at that drop. Should I jump off of that one? Let's see. I want to find the highest point I can jump off of. And yeah, I can jump off this. So yeah, I'm going to put this in the up for download. I'm gonna have the DynamicHeight mod on my in my description, and I'm gonna have this seed for this as well, so that you don't have to download the world. And so yeah, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and please check out my Twitter. And I will be back with a video real soon. And lastly, we're gonna jump off this thing. So goodbye and have a great day. Oh, well, that was kind of a bummer. I didn't even go in the water. Alright, later guys.